Hi guys, welcome back to Spoon Feeding Profits. Today I wanted to do this video on 5 of the best items you can sell on eBay on a budget for huge profits. Key phrase guys, on a budget. Now that doesn't mean that pro sellers are not selling these items nor intermediate sellers are not selling these items. The reason they're still selling these items because there's huge profits to be made on them. So, any business person, they're going to sell these items. But what I want to target today is on a budget. Why? Because you can find them very cheap. To me, these are the top 5 items you can find the cheapest, possibly, to resell. Right? So I want to share that with you today. Guys, before I get into the video, let me just encourage you, if you're enjoying the videos, let me know. Put a comment below. Let me know if you're enjoying the videos. Like the video if you were enjoying it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. If you want to see more videos like this, if you're a brand new seller and these videos are helping you, definitely subscribe, hit the bell, so as soon as I upload a video, you'll see it, right? So you'll be on top of it. So that's, yep. Just let me know what's going on. Let me know if you guys are liking the content. If there's any particular videos you want me to make, put it down below. If you have any questions that I can help you with, put it down below. All right, let's get into the video. So the first item, guys, of course you guys know what I sell, and that is clothing. So that is the first item that we're going to talk about today. Clothing. Now, clothing is shirts, jackets, pants, scarves, hats, just pretty much apparel that people wear, socks, clothing. Now, I don't sell socks. Well, I have in the past, but brand new socks. But clothing, okay, it is everywhere. Now, we do know some thrift stores are pricing up on certain things, but clothing is one of those things that you can still get at a very decent price, because as far as I know, thrift stores have half off day. Thrift stores have tag sales, fill a bag sales. You can still get clothing a lot. You can go on Craigslist or the new apps, OfferUp, and you can go in the free section and there's people giving away clothing, right? Garage sales, estate sales, of course, thrift stores. Guys, clothing is everywhere and you can get them cheaply to start selling. But more importantly, you can start with your own closet, right? You can go in your closet and see stuff that you're not wearing, and most people have stuff that they're not wearing. And you start flipping them. Depending on the brands you have, that will depend on how much, you can sell it for and what condition they're in. But that's just a starting point. All right? And you sell whatever you sell, the profits, you reinvest it and you start, just building on that. So clothing. Let me show you here. I'm on eBay and I just put in the keyword pants. Look, pants. I put in sold and I narrowed it down to pre-owned. That's it. I didn't put a price. These are the most recent sales on eBay for pants. Look at the prices. They vary. It all depends on the condition. It all depends on the brand. And it depends on the seller, how much they priced it at as well. But pants are going to sell. What I've noticed, everything sells, but some sell cheaper than some. So if you have clothing in your closet or shoes or whatever, throw it on there. It's going to sell. And from that profit, you start, instead of spending it on personal stuff, you start reinvesting it into your business. All right? Next item I want to share that is amazing. I mentioned this recently, and that is books. Again, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. And the thrift stores sells books fairly cheap. There's library sales you can get into, and you just stay in tune with your library. Know when they have their sales. There's schools you can get connected to, and when we talk books, we're talking magazines, we're talking textbooks, we're talking religious books, Bibles, the ones with the letter binding, those go for a lot. Just game guides, books. And you know what? The best thing about this is you can take one of these and narrow it down into a niche and you can become a pro at one of these. So when you see a vintage item in books or whatever the case is, You know it, right? So books, next item you can sell. People are always looking for books, vintage books, newer books, textbooks, game guides, whatever the case is. So here again, I just put in sold books on eBay. Most recent, look, $10. Most folks have tons of books in their house. I wish I'd kept mine. I just one day just got into decluttering and I donated all of them. That was before I really started taking eBay seriously. But yeah, a lot of those books I could have sold today because a lot of them were religious books. Look at these guys, different prices for books. Again, they're everywhere. You can find them. You can go on. You can find them at auctions. You can find them on Craigslist. You can find, these stuff are underappreciated in a lot of spaces. Sometimes folks are moving and they just want to get rid of books, right? So if you spread the word that you're selling and maybe with family members or whoever, instead of tossing it out, instead of donating it, they give it to you. So yes, but even if you were to buy this stuff, again, we're talking about buying low, selling high, or decent enough to make a profit, whatever that profit is that you're looking for. All right, so that's books. Third item I want to share with you that you can, again, this is another underappreciated item, and that is electronics. But more importantly, I want to focus on today old electronics. Not the most modern. Here are the latest sales used on eBay VCRs. VCRs, guys. So you might think, oh, folks just want to use the the DVDs and the Blu-rays and all the latest technology, whatever they are. But there's folks that still appreciate the older quality. They like the way this stuff, the video shows on a VCR rather than a DVD. Whatever the case is, right? So here, again, this stuff is undervalued, underappreciated at garage sales. Folks, I picked up a brand new sealed, no, it wasn't sealed, but it was brand new, never taken out of the box VCR for $7 at a garage sale. And I flipped it for $200 in like a day. Someone said I priced it too low, but there we go. Right? This stuff is desirable. So electronics across the board. We're going with laptops, but we're trying to do it on a budget. So we're not going to focus on that stuff. But games, you can find games fairly cheap. You can flip them. I am not an electronic person, but I flip games. I just flipped a game lot because I buy stuff and I put it together and I describe it as best as I can, and put it up there. People are interested. So if you have knowledge on certain areas, old media, let's put floppy in here. If I'm talking to a younger crowd, you might not know what a floppy is, but if you're older, you definitely know. Here's floppy disk, right? Look, they're still selling. Okay, let's put floppy disk in particular. There we go. Floppy disk, right? Again, this stuff is so underappreciated at the thrift store because it's old stuff. Nobody really uses this stuff anymore. And these are just basic prices. I'm sure if I were to put highest here, you'd see them going for way more. Again, it doesn't stop there. It can go with a blank VHS tape. Here we go. $2.99. A lot of 223 floppy diskette. Right? Pre-owned. So it's all about, knowing what people want, and that's from doing research on eBay. But yeah, guys, electronics. So like I was saying, blank VHS tape sealed. I picked up a pack of 10 early last year, and I sold it for $85. I paid $2 at the thrift store for a pack of 10 VHS tape, sealed, blank. Flipped it on eBay for $85 because they looked at it as old stuff, right? Now, some thrift stores might be knowledgeable on them, don't get me wrong, but this particular thrift store, they weren't. Again, that's the kind of stuff you would find at garage sales really cheap. You could even check on the local apps, and sometimes folks are just getting rid of stuff. Thrifts, what do I want to say? Estate sales, best time to find that kind of stuff. All right, so media, old media is what I want to focus on because those are the ones you're going to get cheap. You're going to get it on a budget and you can flip it for pretty decent money. All right, next item that you can, toys. Now here, they're everywhere again. They're in the thrift store. Well, I don't know about you guys, but the thrift stores I go to, that's one of the areas like it's just anything goes. Kids come in and they're just playing whilst their parents are shopping over there and they're throwing the toys down and it's fine. No, I've never seen an employee or a manager, sorry, say anything. Like the kids is just free reign. So the toys are undervalued as well. And there's folks making a killing with toys on eBay. Now, if you do research, like you come in here and you just put toys, what I did is I just put toys over $10, $10 and more. And this is the most recent sales, right? Maybe you know something about toy, or maybe you just find them really cheap. See what they're selling for. You could put it on. Again, these are the best 5, like I said, on a budget. Clothing, you guys know, is my favorite. Books is probably best when it comes to ROI. I just haven't gotten into books really. Old media, love that. I would pick that up sometimes. Well, I pick up the old media, the diskette and stuff if it's brand new and sealed. But I don't know how to test the VCRs and stuff. I have to find it like brand new for me to pick it up. But they sell. Folks like Craigslist Hunter, they pretty much make their living by selling old media for the most part. All right. Last but not least, guys, on a budget, shoes. This was my favorite thing to sell when I started eBay. For the first 2 years or so, when I check my specs on eBay, it'll show me that my #1 selling item was shoes. And the thing about shoes is I got them at $3 a piece for the most part. Now it's like $5, but it was like $3 a piece. And again, they were undervalued. You know why? Because some of them were dirty. Like they had a lot of dirt, mud on them. So they kind of just undervalue them. And I would come home, take the time and clean them up. Like I would get like a toothbrush and some water and soap and I would clean those things up. A lot of times I got feedback like, man, this was better than it looked in the photo. And because I took the time to clean it, I could actually ask for a little bit more. I know folks that buy all different types of polish for like dress shoes and they would, polish that shoe up and demand more for it and they would get it because they took the time to clean it. So, obviously if you go into the thrift store or you go into a store and you see a shoe that looks mint condition, more likely the thrift store is going to price it fairly high. But if it looks like it's, just some mud on it or something, they probably just throw just a basic price on it. But as long as you look at that shoe and you realize the shoe is still in really good condition, there's no tears in it, there's nothing like that, it's just muddy, and you go home and you kind of clean that up, you can get decent money for that shoe because you're seeing beneath, all the mud and whatever is going on out there. So yeah, I've made a ton of money on shoes. I just got lazy with the cleaning part, and I would pick every now and then I would pick them up still if it's in excellent condition and it's at a good price. But usually when it's in excellent condition, it has a pretty high price attached to it as well. And I don't want to take the time to clean anymore, but I did in the beginning. So if that's what it takes for you to do it on a budget, for you to get it cheaper, look at the shoe. See if it's, if it has a lot of thread wear on the bottom. If it's not a lot, it's a good brand, it might be worth it to just clean it up a little bit. All right, guys. So those are the 5 tops. And when I say shoes, I mean boots, dress shoes, running shoes. For me, in the beginning, was running shoes. That's what I sold more than anything else, right? And Skechers Shape Ups. Those were like, especially, it's still now, Skechers Shape Ups sells well, especially the black ones. But yeah, I mean, when I say shoes, I mean all of that. I mean hiking boots, work boots, all of that. All right, guys. So those you'll find the cheapest. And you can make more on those. You can go to if you have a Weigh and Pay, a Goodwill Weigh and Pay, or one of those thrift stores around your area where you can just, sell stuff, buy stuff by the pound rather than per item. That comes in handy as well. All right, guys. So those are my 5. Those are the 5 I believe you can make the most on a budget. Like I said, even if you're not on a budget, I still think you can make a lot on these. But a lot of times folks don't want to put in the time to clean the shoes anymore or go through a whole ton of books. But the thing is, you can make one of these your niche. You can really dial into one of these and become a pro at it, whether it's shoes or, clothing or media. Just say you want to take time to test the VCR, make sure it's working. I know folks who they would buy the VCR, but they make sure it's working, and then they don't have the remote for it because the thrift store didn't sell the remote. So what they would do is go on eBay, buy the remote, and then they would make sure they have all the pieces, like that one I showed you earlier, and then they could actually demand a higher price. So like this listing right here on the top. This don't necessarily mean that guy bought that VCR with everything. He probably got the VCR. He could have bought the remote on eBay. He probably throw in a blank VHS tape. He got the cords, and he got a higher price than somebody who bought it. Now, you might not want to take all that time, but there's some people who take, they find pleasure in this stuff. They find pleasure in cleaning the electronics before they actually list it. So it all depends on what you like, right? What you like doing. I know another guy who takes pleasure in polishing shoes because he does a lot of dress shoes. He takes pleasure in polishing those before he lists it. So if that's you, go for it, right? Some people, clothing, they wash it. They iron it before they list. I don't do any of that. But it all depends on you. All right, guys. So let me know if you like the video. Let me know if you find it valuable. But definitely, I believe anybody can do this. We all started somewhere. I started with $50 on eBay, and I had $50 extra to do anything, and I bombed it though. I didn't do well with it because I went out and I bought a ton of Old Navy shirts, and I thought that stuff was gonna sell. I ended up having to do an auction at 99 cents each, and most of them went for like 99 cents, and so I didn't really make anything. So that's when I started. I can't remember how I got some more money to get into shoes, but I started looking for shoes that were selling really, really cheap, and a lot of times they weren't in the best condition. Some of them had a little bit of wear, but it could still be used for a little bit more. I would clean those up, and I started accumulating some money, and I started buying a little bit more not high end, but stuff that's worth a little bit more that I could flip for a little bit more eventually. All right, guys. So subscribe if you haven't yet. If you want more of these, like the video, and be kind out there as usual. All right, be kind out there. Even though you're trying to hit your goals, you're trying to make some money, still be kind out there. Take time to acknowledge folks, smile. It goes a long way. All right, guys. See you guys later.